Hi guys, today I'm going to talk about the control pad which has been on my desk for around 3 weeks non-stop for two reasons. One, the base is so damn sticky that I'm afraid to remove it, and second, it is very good. And the mousepad in question is the Pulsar ES2 Aim Trainer Pack Edition. Let's start with the basic specs first. As you can see, the pad arrives flat packed and has a very nice peel happening, and the size is the standard 490 x 420, which is like the most used one these days. The pad is surprisingly thin compared to the other pads I own, and it measures just 3 mm in thickness. In comparison, the artisan pads are 4 mm and the older Lethal Gaming Gear Pro pads were 3.5 mm, so this is thinner than those ones. The price of the pad is around €50 or $39.95 depending where you buy it and where you live. So it's cheaper than the artisan pads, but yeah, kinda competitive with the Lethal Gaming Gear Pro pads. The stitching of this pad is very good. It's below the surface and it's really tight, and yeah, there hasn't been any fraying happening during these 3 weeks of usage. Only loose thread I can find is where the stitching ends, but yeah, it doesn't matter in use, and I haven't felt this stitching while using it at all, so very nice job there. The base of the pad is made from alpha cell material, which has similar properties than artisan, but it is way stickier. It's stickier than the Artisan X Soft. The softness is similar to the Artisan X Soft, but since the pad is thinner, the experience is somewhat different, and the pad feels consistent even with dot skates, which I can't use on my Heian X Soft, for example, because the experience is very scratchy. The softness feels very comfortable to your wrist if you keep your wrist on your pad while aiming. So yeah, the base is ridiculously sticky, and when I first got the pad and kept it on my desk for around 2 weeks and then tried to remove it, I was kind of afraid. I was afraid that I would stretch it or even tear it apart because it was really stuck on my desk. I had to really carefully peel it off my desk. So I advise you to save the plastic backing thing you have to peel off the base if you ever decide to take the pad off your desk, because the base is literal dust magnet. I have removed the pad from my desk since then multiple times, and the stickiness is not the same as straight out of the box, but it is still very sticky. Then let's talk about the surface. The surface of this pad is very soft to the touch, and I can say it's one of the most comfortable cloth pads I have ever used. The smooth texture is not abrasive at all, and it doesn't seem to collect hairs or extra dirt or something, so it's a very smooth experience. A funny thing about this print, it's supposed to be a tool to measure your sensitivity, your centimeters per 360 degrees and whatnot, but the measurements are wrong. I checked it with my tape measure, and yeah, they don't match at all. It's because the material of the pad is very soft and the base can stretch. I have a feeling it has shrunken down during the manufacturing process, so yeah, this won't replace the trusty ruler next to your desk. But yeah, I like the look of this pad a lot, but it's not a good measurement tool, sadly. Surface feeling is mostly comparable to Waxy PA. In my opinion, it's most apparent if you look at the orientation of the weave of the pad, but it's not exactly the same, just very similar. However, the speed is not only affected by the surface, rather than a combination of the base softness and the surface. So let's go to the friction results next. And the static friction is somewhere between Lethal Gaming Gear Saturn and the High Star Mirai, and the rank is 11th on my spreadsheet, so it's kind of around the middle of the pack. For example, something like the Smooth Criminal has more static friction than this. Without the applied weight, it was still after the Lethal Gaming Gear Saturn, so the static friction is not affected by the weight much. Kinetic friction rank, however, was 13, and it had more friction than the likes of Smooth Criminal, Vaxi PA and the Little Gaming Gear Saturn. But from these results, the effect of the Exoft base can be seen very clearly, because when we removed the extra weight applied to the mouse, the pad started to follow the Little Gaming Gear Saturn in kinetic friction as well. So we could say it is a bit slower Saturn. Sadly, I don't have the Saturn Pro to compare this pad to, but the new version is releasing soon, so soon we know how this pad compares to that one. So it is a pad that offers great control and stability for your aim, which is probably why the likes of Zaiwu has using this pad quite recently. I also found the pad to perform very well in Apex, and especially using like single shot weapons like Wingman and PK was a pleasant experience with the pad. But since this pad is marketed as an aim trainer pack pad, how does it perform in aim training? Well, I personally found the friction properties to suit my needs in static scenarios. Well, that was about it. I mostly adjusted to the incredibly low friction properties of glass pads and faster cloth pads like the Artisan Hayate also. So grinding my Voltaic routines with this pad in pretty much anything other than static was a frustrating experience. I felt that my micro corrections were a bit lacking with this amount of static friction. Gaming wise, I feel this pad could perform very well in multiple games, so it is a great comfort pick for you. So in conclusion, if you're looking for a great control pad, this is a solid option, and the base is just incredible. It's just ridiculously sticky. If you play a lot of tag shooters and don't want to swap your pads around often, this could be a solid pick for you. But if you want the pad to be a measurement tool, I'd advise you to not use it as a measurement tool. The measurements are wrong. There is also a black version available, so if you don't like this look, you could get that one. I left an affiliate link below in the description if you want to try the ES2 in black or this Aim Trainer Pack edition. And yeah, thanks for watching, and see you on the next one, which is probably about the VGN Dragonfly.